The massive Zorn battleships emerged from hyperspace, their metallic hulls gleaming against the dark backdrop of space. Captain J. Park watched the massive alien fleet approach Earth through the reinforced glass of the orbital defense station. His hands were steady, his eyes focused. "Incoming transmission," whispered Yoon Kim, his co-pilot and longtime friend. The communication screen flickered to life, revealing a grotesque alien figure. The Zorn commander's multiple eyes blinked. Independently, its scaled skin shifting colors like a living warning signal. "Humans of Earth," the transmission crackled. "Your planet is now property of the Zorn Collective. Surrender or be exterminated." Jay's team remained silent. Outside the station's windows, Earth looked peaceful. Blue oceans, green continents, completely unaware of the impending threat. Millions of people went about their daily lives, unknowledgeable that their entire civilization hung in the balance. The Zorn had conquered over 30 planetary systems. Their technology was centuries ahead of most species. Their weapons could obliterate entire cities with a single pulse. Their military strategy was legendary, swift, brutal, and absolutely merciless. But they had never encountered humans before. Yoon's fingers danced across the control panel, activating defensive protocols that had been secretly developed over the past decade. No one outside the military knew how extensive Earth's preparation had been. While other alien civilizations had fallen within hours of Zorn invasion, humans had been quietly, meticulously planning. "Weapon systems charging," Yoon reported. His voice was calm, almost emotionless. Jay nodded. The first Zorn ships began their descent, massive shadow vessels blocking out sections of sunlight. Their weapon ports glowed with an ominous green energy, ready to unleash destruction. Military bases around the world were already moving. Underground command centers activated. Specialized defense units moved into position. Satellites repositioned. Every single human military asset was now synchronized, a complex machine waiting to respond. The Zorn commander's transmission continued, explaining the futility of resistance. They described how quickly other civilizations had fallen, how resistance was not just impossible but laughable. Jay remembered his training. Remember that the enemy always underestimates you. Make them regret that mistake. Suddenly, something unexpected happened. Instead of cowering or immediately surrendering, the human communication channels remained open but silent. No panic, no fear, just cold, calculated preparation. The first wave of Zorn ships entered Earth's atmosphere. Their sensors were calibrated to detect traditional military responses, massive weapon systems, large-scale defensive formations. But humans were different. Tactical teams were already moving. Not in massive groups, but in small, efficient units. Underground networks activated. Specialized equipment developed in secret research facilities began to power up. Yoon looked at Jay. "They have no idea what's coming." Jay's lips formed a slight smile. "Exactly." The Zorn believed they were bringing technological superiority, advanced weaponry, generations of conquest experience. They saw humans as simple, primitive creatures ready for harvest. They were about to learn a brutal lesson. As the first Zorn ships crossed the stratosphere, something felt different. The usual terror of invasion was missing. Instead, there was a strange sense of anticipation, of preparation. Earth didn't look like a planet preparing for invasion. It looked like a planet, preparing to fight back. The first shots were about to be fired. Humanity's true nature was about to be revealed to the galaxy. The first Zorn ships pierced Earth's atmosphere with thunderous roars. Their massive hulls cast dark shadows over military bases and coastal regions. Commander Lee Hee-soo watched, the screens, her fingers hovering over a series of complex control panels. This was not going to be a traditional battle. The Zorn expected terror. They expected surrender. What they received was something entirely different. As their initial assault teams landed, strange disruptions began occurring in their advanced technology. Communication systems started flickering. Advanced sensor arrays went blind. Weapon systems experienced unexplained power fluctuations. Something was wrong. In a small underground research facility, Dr. Sung Min smiled. The electromagnetic pulse generators were working perfectly. Years of secret development were now paying off. Each Zorn technological advantage was being systematically neutralized. The first ground invasion teams landed in multiple locations: coastal regions of South America, desert zones in Africa, and remote areas of Asia. Their heavily armored troops carried weapons that could level entire city blocks in seconds. They expected minimal resistance. They were wrong. Local military units didn't engage in traditional combat. Instead, they used terrain, misdirection, and unconventional tactics. Drones flew in complex patterns, jamming Zorn communication frequencies. Underground networks of researchers had developed specialized signal disruptors that made Zorn technology essentially useless. One Zorn invasion team landed near a small mountain research station. Their sensors indicated a simple research facility. What they found was a technological nightmare. Automated defense systems activated, using the mountain's terrain as a natural weapon. Rocks became projectiles. Laser systems emerged from hidden positions. The mountain itself seemed to fight back. The Zorn commander couldn't understand what was happening. Their invasion protocols, which had worked perfectly on dozens of planets, were falling apart. Humans weren't fighting like any species they had encountered before. In the Pacific Ocean, a group of specialized naval units used underwater acoustic weapons. The Zorn ships experienced total communication breakdown. Their advanced navigation systems went dark. Powerful sonar pulses created confusion and disorientation. Dr. Sung Min's team had developed these weapons specifically to exploit alien technological weaknesses. Each system was designed to target specific alien communication and navigation frequencies. The global response was coordinated but appeared chaotic to the Zorn. Small teams moved quickly. Information transferred through encrypted channels. No single large military formation presented itself as a target. Satellite networks began broadcasting complex mathematical sequences that interfered with Zorn weapon calibration. Every system the aliens believed was an advantage was now becoming a potential weakness. One Zorn invasion team discovered an apparently empty city. As they moved in, thinking it was an easy conquest, automated defense systems activated. Buildings transformed. Hidden technological traps emerged. The entire urban landscape became a weapon. Military strategists around the world watched and waited. This wasn't about winning a single battle. This was about demonstrating that humanity was not a simple target. The Zorn began to realize something terrifying. They were no longer the hunters. They had become the hunted. Communication between Zorn ships became increasingly panicked. Their invasion, which should have been a simple conquest, was turning into a technological nightmare. Humans were adapting faster than any species they had ever encountered. Dr. Sung Min looked at her team. "They thought we were simple," she said quietly. "Now they'll learn what humans can do." The first day of invasion was ending. The Zorn had expected submission. Instead, they found resistance. Intelligent, technological, absolutely unexpected resistance. Humanity was sending a message to the galaxy. We are not your prey. The research facility buzzed with intense energy. Computers hummed, screens flickered, and scientists worked with a sense of urgent determination. Dr. Kim Jae-sung stood at the center, his eyes scanning complex holographic displays showing alien technology captured during the first invasion. "Wave. We can rebuild this," he muttered. "We can make it better." Across the world, research centers worked simultaneously. The Zorn invasion had provided something unexpected: direct access to advanced alien technology. What the aliens thought was a conquering mission had become a massive technological exchange. Reverse. Engineering became humanity's newest weapon. In the first week after the initial invasion, human scientists discovered something remarkable. Zorn technology, while advanced, had critical weaknesses. Their systems were complex but followed predictable patterns. Humans could adapt faster than the aliens could imagine. Nanotechnology teams worked around the clock. They developed microscopic machines that could infiltrate and disrupt alien computer systems. These weren't just defensive tools. They were intelligent, evolving systems that could learn and adapt in real time. Military research centers transformed alien weapon fragments into new defense technologies. A plasma cannon became a shield generator. A communication device became a complex signal disruptor. Every piece of alien technology was a potential breakthrough. Dr. Park Yu-jin, a quantum computing expert, made a critical discovery. The Zorns. Computational systems had a fundamental flaw. They were powerful but rigid. Human systems could be chaotic, unpredictable, and therefore impossible to completely predict. They think in straight lines, she explained to her team. We think in multiple dimensions. Satellite networks began broadcasting complex mathematical sequences that confused alien tracking systems. Drones developed adaptive camouflage that could change instantly. Weapon systems became living, thinking entities rather than simple tools. The Zorn watched in growing horror. Their invasion was transforming into something they had never experienced. Humans weren't just defending. They were evolving. Underground, research facilities became the true battleground. While military units engaged in physical combat, scientists were winning a more important war. Each captured alien technology piece became a puzzle, and humans were exceptional at solving puzzles. Artificial intelligence systems developed specifically to counter alien tactics began emerging. These were not simple programs but complex learning, networks that could predict and counter alien strategies faster than any traditional military computer. Communication interception became an art form. Human technology teams could now not just block Zorn transmissions but could understand and manipulate them. They could send false signals, create confusion, make the aliens doubt their own systems. Dr. Kim's team developed a breakthrough weapon, a quantum disruption field that could temporarily disable entire alien technological systems. What took the Zorn years to develop, humans created in weeks. Military strategists realized something profound. The invasion was more than a physical battle. It was a technological race. And humans were natural innovators. Schools and universities worldwide shifted focus. Every student became a potential technological warrior. Education transformed from passive learning to active problem-solving. The entire human species was now a research and development team. The Zorn had made a critical mistake. They saw humans as a target. Instead, they had awakened a species with an unprecedented capacity for technological adaptation. Weapon systems became intelligent. Defense mechanisms could think. Communication networks could learn and evolve. Humanity was no longer just defending. They were preparing to counterattack. Dr. Park looked at her team. The alien technology fragments surrounding them were no longer threats. They were opportunities. We're going to make them regret ever entering our solar system, she said quietly. The technological breakthrough was happening, and the Zorn had no idea what was coming. Alpha Quadrant burned with the fury of 1,000 battles. Admiral Wu Jin watched the tactical screens, his face calm despite the chaos surrounding him. Humanity had transformed from a potential victim to a technological nightmare for the Zorn. The battle wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about sending a message. Zorn ships filled the space around Earth's orbital defense zones. They believed their numbers would overwhelm human resistance. What they didn't understand was that humans had been preparing for this moment their entire history. Swarms of adaptive drones moved like living clouds. Each drone was more than a machine. It was a thinking, learning weapon. They communicated faster than any alien system could track. One moment they formed defensive formations, the next they became aggressive attack units. Target their communication nodes, Admiral Wu instructed. His voice was steady, almost casual. Quantum disruption fields began spreading across the alien fleet. Entire squadrons of Zorn ships suddenly found their systems failing. Navigation went dark. Weapons became useless. They were floating targets in a sea of human technological superiority. What made human tactics unique was their unpredictability. Traditional military strategies meant nothing. Humans didn't fight like any species the Zorn had encountered before. They were flexible, creative, absolutely relentless. Underground research facilities had prepared special weapons, nanotechnological infiltration systems that could disable entire ship networks in seconds. Adaptive signal jammers that learned and evolved faster than alien countermeasures. The first wave of Zorn ships started falling, not destroyed, but completely neutralized. Their advanced technology became useless against human innovation. Military units around the world watched. This wasn't just a defensive battle. This was humanity proving its worth to the galaxy. Specialized teams had been tracking Zorn communication patterns for months. They knew exactly how the aliens thought, how they planned, how they attacked. Every Zorn strategy was now predictable, almost boring. Satellite networks transformed into weapon platforms. Orbital defense stations became living, thinking entities. The entire human technological infrastructure was now a single unified fighting system. Admiral Wu noticed something interesting. The Zorn were becoming confused. Their invasion protocols, which had worked perfectly on dozens of planets, were falling apart against human resistance. They don't understand chaos, he told his second-in-command. We do. Psychological warfare became as important as physical combat. Human communication networks started broadcasting complex mathematical sequences that disrupted alien thinking patterns. Holographic decoys created massive confusion in Zorn fleet movements. One Zorn commander watching the battle couldn't comprehend what was happening. Their invasion, which should have been a simple conquest, was transforming into a technological nightmare. Humans were fighting like a single unified organism. Every research facility, every military unit, every technological system was connected. They moved as one, thought as one, fought as one. The battle in Alpha Quadrant became legendary, not because of massive explosions or dramatic confrontations, but because of something more profound: human adaptability. Zorn ships began retreating, not out of fear, but out of a growing understanding that they had severely underestimated their target. Admiral Wu watched the tactical screens. The message was clear. Humanity was not a victim. Humanity was a force. Prepare counterattack protocols, he said quietly. The turning point had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity was no longer hiding. Humanity was no longer afraid. The Zorn homeworld looked like a massive metal sphere, surrounded by thousands of defensive platforms. They believed themselves invincible. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Captain J. Park's fleet approached silently. No traditional communication, no standard attack formations, just pure calculated human strategy. Quantum disruption waves spread across Zorn space defenses. Entire communication networks collapsed. Defense platforms went dark. The mighty Zorn civilization suddenly felt vulnerable. Intelligence gathered over months of careful observation revealed critical weaknesses. The Zorn weren't just a military species. They were a hierarchical society built on perceived technological superiority. Destroy that perception, and the entire civilization would crumble. Human technology had evolved beyond alien comprehension. Adaptive nanoweapons could infiltrate entire planetary systems. Artificial intelligence networks predicted and countered Zorn strategies faster than their commanders could think. The first wave of human attack wasn't violent. It was psychological. Complex mathematical sequences broadcast across Zorn communication. Channels created massive confusion. Their most advanced computer systems began experiencing unexplained failures. Military communication became impossible. Dr. Park Yu-jin, the quantum computing expert, had designed these systems. Each transmission was a weapon more powerful than any physical missile. Information became the ultimate destructive force. Zorn leadership watched in growing terror. Their invasion of Earth, which they had believed would be a simple conquest, had transformed into a complete technological disaster. Specialized human teams had been studying Zorn society for months. They understood not just their technology, but their cultural weaknesses. Every strategy was precisely calculated. Orbital platforms around the Zorn homeworld began experiencing systematic failures. Shield generators collapsed. Communication networks went silent. The mighty Zorn defense system was falling apart without a single physical shot being fired. "They thought we were primitive," Captain Park muttered. "Now they'll learn what humans can do." The attack wasn't about destruction. It was about sending a message to the entire galaxy. Humanity was not a target. Humanity was a force to be respected. Adaptive drone swarms moved like living clouds around Zorn defensive positions. Each drone was more than a machine. It was a thinking, learning weapon. They communicated faster than any alien system could track. Psychological warfare became the primary weapon. Human networks started broadcasting complex sequences that disrupted Zorn mental patterns. Holographic systems created massive confusion in their fleet movements. The Zorn had conquered 30 planetary systems using fear and technological superiority. Humanity dismantled their entire civilization using intelligence and adaptability. Zorn leadership began experiencing complete system failures. Their most advanced technologies became useless. Communication became impossible. Their entire hierarchical system collapsed from within. No massive explosions, no traditional warfare. Just pure, calculated human innovation. Dr. Kim Jae-sung watched the tactical displays. Years of secret research were now paying off. Humanity had transformed from a potential victim to the galaxy's most dangerous species. The message was clear. Do not underestimate humans. Entire Zorn military networks went dark. Their defensive platforms became floating metal tombs. Their communication systems collapsed. Their technological superiority became their greatest weakness. Captain Park's final transmission was simple. Surrender or be forgotten. The Zorn had a choice. Surrender or be erased from galactic history. Humanity had not just defended itself. It had demonstrated what human potential could achieve when pushed to its limits. The galactic landscape would never be the same. Humans were no longer an unknown species. They were a technological force that could dismantle entire civilizations without firing a traditional weapon. The reckoning was complete. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would remember this moment forever.